Hello everybody, I just wanted to make this video while I was passionate about basically what's going on in Tarkov. I have almost 5,000 hours in the game. Today is June 15th, 2023, and this is the wipe that brought us Streets and Lightkeeper. Desync issues, all sorts of people complaining about recoil changes, inertia, and of course the Goat Moths video about how many cheaters are in Tarkov and the potential problem. This is all hearsay from him. Now, do I think one single thing killed the game? No, I think that there are a lot of things that are going on that we are going to talk about today. I think that the biggest issue is that their quest system to get to Kappa is essentially the same as it has been since the release of the game. A couple tasks have been added in and also removed. Looking at you capturing outposts, but a couple other ones have been added, like long line is fun, and some others like killing rogues and other challenging tasks. But I think that the biggest issue is that the variability of the gameplay is there, but the fun part of Tarkov for me is early wipe, and a lot of changes have been made to extend early wipe, but in turn make the game a little bit more challenging, especially for a more quote-unquote casual player. I think that the problem with making it more challenging for casual players is it makes them feel alienated, and it makes them feel like they need to dedicate more time to a video game than their real life. And even me, I felt like a lot of the gameplay that was happening where I was focusing on trying to level up, my real life was sacrificed. I actually would tell my fiance when wipe was going to be, and I would tell her, like, these 2 weeks I want to try to not do anything. I want to just play Tarkov. And I think that 2 weeks for me is maybe a month for other people, if they would like to actually be able to enjoy the game how they want to and try to grind up to getting max traders or get to a place that they feel comfortable with the rubles they have so they can buy the kits they want to, so they can go in PvP. But a lot of the changes that have been made to Tarkov in a post-pandemic world where people don't have all day to play video games, it makes it challenging for people to try to level up and enjoy the game. My fear is that getting people into this game is such a huge step, and if people who were maybe able to play this game more casually and enjoy the game and get max traders a little bit easier and level up easier, if they can't level up quite as quickly, they're going to drop off quicker, which means that the more high level skill players are going to be playing a lot more and just basically dumpstering on all of the newer players that are coming, not the casual players. The casual players might drop off in 2 weeks now instead of a month and a half. And this game is a very challenging game, which is what I love about it. My survival rate is 57%, and that's good. That's good for the vast majority of players. My KD is 5.4. Again, it's good for the vast majority. I think that I can do a lot better and want to, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do, was to play and get better at the game. But then a lot of the issues with fighting a lot of PMCs is you are fighting a lot of desync battles. And I think that desync is a massive issue with this game. Tarkov, from what my understanding is, and people in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, I did not look this up before this video, I am just rambling. I think that the tick rate is 12, and I mean Fortnite's I think is 30, which in my opinion, casual game, kind of makes sense. Tarkov is not necessarily a PvP first, even though a lot of people might play that. It is a little bit more of an RPG element with FPS added in, but a big issue with this game is if you're going to fight people in CQB and trying to clear corners, when you swing a corner, you're desynced so much so that when you swing that corner, you're going to shoot that person that's holding an angle, which should be about 50-50, if not more swayed into their probability of winning the fight. When you swing that corner, they don't see you in time and you can kill them. So an aggressive playstyle on CQB is going to way outweigh playing corners and playing intelligently and holding angles, even though you're seeing that a lot more in Tarkov. And I think that with the inertia changes, it helped to limit that swinging, but it does limit how people are going to be playing the game. So now more people are going to be camping corners. I, for the past couple days, have been trying to run streets. I had a weekly to survive 35 times for 224,000 experience and 700,000 rubles. I could not turn that down until I started running streets. Now, streets is functioning a little bit better for me now. I am getting like anywhere between like 80, ticking up slightly to 100 frames per second. But I still do have a ton of desync issues with streets. A lot of the buildings and the urban warfare, those fights in theory should be so stressful and challenging. What I'm finding in practice is a lot of people are waiting where they spawn and waiting for other people to rotate, and they'll sit in a corner or in a window in an angle, hold high traffic areas, and kill people that go into those high traffic areas. And I understand that's how the game is supposed to function. That was one of my gripes with customs before they added the expansion. I felt like there were like 2 choke points, and if you went to those areas, it's a 50-50 chance that someone's holding an angle, and it's like a 20% chance you're gonna actually be able to fight those people and get the win. And it doesn't feel good to play a game where you run in, you're waiting 4 to 7 minutes to spawn into a raid because of how long it takes to load the map, match make, actually get into the map. And then once you spawn, you might be like 20 seconds away from someone, but if they're holding an angle on you and you run over and then you go and you try to find your high tier loot spot, or maybe you're going for a task and you run over and you wasted 7 minutes waiting to load in, you've spent 3 minutes hitting your guy up. That's 10 minutes of your time, and you're an adult and you have other things that you want to do. Maybe you have to go mow the grass, but you're putting it off because you want to play more Tarkov or pay the bills. And then you go to your spot and you get one tap by someone who is just holding an angle. And it's like, why are you playing a game that's not going to give you your time back? I have over 1,000 raids this wipe, which is way more than I think a vast majority of the community is ever going to hit this wipe. Again, getting up to that 5,000 hours mark for total playtime. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of especially content creators, who have burned out on the game and have just not enjoyed where the future of Tarkov is going. They're afraid of, oh, it's the good old days are behind us. And a lot of people have different definitions of the good old days. My idea is adapt to the changes that are coming. But what I am noticing, I loved the idea of inertia. I am a personal trainer, and human beings have mass. So watching video games, especially Call of Duty, where people can juke so quickly, especially with a lot of gear on them, it's not really how human beings can act. I think that Tarkov kind of pushes it a little bit too far with the inertia, and it doesn't allow for jiggle peeking. And I know that they're trying to limit that so that the jiggle peeking with inertia allows for a little bit better of a gameplay in response to the person who's being jiggle peeked. But if I know where someone is and I can't pre-fire them, it feels weird to me. I think that something that's plaguing this game right now is this game has been in quote-unquote early access for a little over 7 years now. A lot of people think that there is an issue with cheaters. A lot of people think that there is an issue with streamers getting a privilege on servers, loot. What streamers say they think that Battlestate Games does to balance it out so that streamers enjoy the game more and will play the game. And that's how Battlestate Games displays their game. They don't pay for any kind of marketing, and it's all through streamers and other people playing the game. Word of mouth, essentially, which in my opinion is great for promoting a game that's functioning well. But with this development of this game, Battlestate Games has not fixed a lot of the issues that are plaguing the game with the desync and coding. And again, I am not a game developer, but I worked on Unreal Engine 5 for a little bit, and it's very complex. I don't know what I'm doing, obviously, so it's super complex for me, being a personal trainer. But in regards to a game that has an amazing idea, the practicality of what this game could be in a lot of people's minds is, I think, what is making a lot of people play the game. Now, in practice, the game doesn't function like it's supposed to. And again, this is just something that is going to plague a lot of games in early access. But I think the Battlestate Games, the biggest issue with them is that they might not actually know how to code the game. And I think that a lot of people who are focusing on BSG doesn't care, it's like, I know that they care and I can see that they care. It's just they're creating this game that is such a reach that AAA developers, to the extent that Tarkov is pushing, AAA developers are not even pushing into the realm yet that Battlestate Games is doing. And I think that that's going to speak volumes in how challenging it is. I mean, even like Warzone 2 or having 150 players on the map, it functions all right. But I mean, I've played Warzone 2 and there's a lot of desyncs. That's a AAA developed game. That is people who have worked for a very long time and have a huge resume on coding games and focusing on how to make a game work better. they can't even get that game to function perfectly. So for battle state games, people who kind of have this amazing idea of a game and they're trying to make it actually work, and the effort that they're putting in is there, but just because effort's there doesn't mean that you're going to get it on the first try, second try, 70th try. So there's a big step up, and I think that the vast majority of the community, it's so much easier to just whine about the state of the game and what they would like to see out of the game. And Twitter is a gross thing. I don't I started blocking and muting people on Twitter because it got to the point where I would go on and I would be mad at the game without even playing the game. And I think that the vast majority of the outspoken people on Twitter are trying to get engagement, and it's very easy to get engagement on any game by just whining about it. I don't think we take the gravity of the situation about how negativity is going to play in the mindset that we're going to take into playing a video game. There are games that are beautiful and are fun to play and you have good experiences on, or memorable experiences at the least. They don't have to be necessarily good. I mean, I remember a spinning aimbotter that killed me in an interchange, and that was memorable, but didn't love it. Which brings me to the cheating issue in Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov does not have a kill cam, and flood the comments with that's the only way to fix the game. I don't really think that's going to help. I've played Rainbow Six Siege, I have played Warzone 2, I've played games that are necessarily, my gaming list is not extensive, and I understand, but I have played games that have kill cam, and that, when I think about it, I don't think Warzone 2 has kill cam. Call of Duty has kill cam. Kill cams can also display incorrect images. So for me, knowing what Battle States Games has done with VoIP, with audio, with things that they're implementing, I don't want to say haphazardly because that's not really how they're implementing them, but maybe they don't know how to implement it. Are we expecting them to implement a properly functioning kill cam for the first 2 years that the game has the kill cam? We'll see how the game develops as the coding is written by the AI and they continue to improve their ability to function with the game on a higher version of Unity. But I don't know if cheating will ever be fixed in any video game. It's a very challenging thing to grasp, but I think that a lot of people who are playing Escape from Tarkov, especially new people, don't understand how many angles you can have held on you in such a vastly open world game, and the fact that single tap headshots are such a massive thing in this game and so important in killing people. It's something that all right, so to give an example, I have 2,287 kills this wipe. I have 1,140 headshots. Long distance headshots are 258. My longest shot distance is 691. I think that people don't understand, especially new players coming into this game, how high of a probability it is that especially experienced players are going to be aiming for the head. If you have enough flesh damage, or you have a bullet, which is generally what I run, is a high pen with enough flesh damage that is going to kill you regardless if you're wearing a helmet or not, I'm aiming for the head. Even if I'm spraying, and I know that you should be shooting more for center mass, I'm going to shoot for the head, because if I have desync and a head tap on my side, all it takes is for one bullet. That is kind of the meta of Tarkov, is aiming for the head. You might shoot people in the leg, and that might be your leg meta. You might be fighting like that, but I guarantee you, if you're shooting someone with leg meta and it takes 3 bullets into the leg, someone swings that corner and they shoot 1 bullet into your head, that is 1/3 of the amount of time that needs to be put out of the gun that can kill you. I don't think people understand the gravity of the situation of a head eyes moment, of a headshot, of a one tap. I don't run rounds that can't headshot people from over 125 meters. I think that that's silly. I think that I don't want to put myself in a position that I shoot someone, they don't die, and now they're aware that someone's watching them. I want to shoot someone when they're completely unaware, when they feel like they're safe, and I want them to be like, where did I die? I don't know what happened. That is the goal of how I play this PvP. I don't like to just like swing in and shoot people, because the desync fights, they just don't feel good in Tarkov to me. I hate the desync. I hate the fighting inside. It doesn't feel good. Like throwing grenades feels a little bit weird, because you pull a grenade out, it's like, well, you might get rushed, Because by the time you put it away, you're going to get desync swang. Someone's going to shoot you and kill you. And they can aim at center of mass because you're putting your grenade away. To me, there's a lot of things that are an issue with Tarkov. And I might not have touched on the thing that you think is the issue with Tarkov. But what I am going to continue to release are videos that I might like to see changed about Tarkov, or that I want people to think differently about the game, or think more realistically. I guess differently is probably a bad word for that, because I think that too many people think that Battlestate Games does not want their game to succeed, and they want to promote cheating so they can make money off of that, because that's sales. And to me, I don't understand how people don't see that Battlestate Games has already made their money. They could totally walk away from this game, and they haven't, and they're continuing to update it. They're not a gaming company that is just putting out this half-done work and they're just like, this is good enough. They're actually trying to make it better, and their content team is putting up more content than their coding team. I don't know the exact names for it. We'll just overgeneralize there. So I think that people don't understand that that is something that we need to be aware of, is the coding team might not know how to perfectly identify. I mean, they're recruiting AI to do it. They obviously don't know exactly how to make this game function. And again, the AAA teams are not pushing to get into this space like Battlestate Games has. They might get into quote-unquote extraction shooters, but those are money grabs. Those are the surface level. Those are the companies that you are trying to say Battlestate Games is. Battlestate Games is going so niche with this. They don't care if 10 people are playing this game. They're going to try to finish it. They could totally switch and work on Russia 2028 and totally forget about Tarkov as a game. Totally could happen, but they're not doing that right now. I mean, might happen. I don't know. I could be eating my words, but I think that too many people don't understand the gravitational challenge that Escape from Tarkov is facing. And I'm going to make this video super long if I continue to talk about it, but I think having this open forum where I speak my mind on just how I'm feeling about the game, it doesn't feel good anymore. And that could be the 5,000 hours. I'm not sweating as much whenever I am in a position that I'm surrounded by 3 people. I understand playing a lot of hours in a video game can burn you out, but there is a part of me that just can't play other shooters, especially even like Grand Theft Auto or Minecraft. Like there are games that I can't venture out into because there's something about Escape from Tarkov that pulls me back in. And I think it is just that niche category of always having that chance of being one tap. And can you figure out how to maneuver around the map and create an experience that you're going to remember and get an experience of that I think that a lot of other games don't give us. If you made it this long in the video, please consider subscribing and hitting that like. And if you would like to watch me live stream on Twitch, my link will be in the description below. TikTok, Instagram, and whatever else I have on here. Hopefully you enjoyed the little rant speech interpretation about what I think Tarkov is and what it can be, and I will hopefully see you around.